To be left behind to come undone. People of any place should be cast aside or effortlessly defaced. No child should be forced to live where someone takes and no one gives. Nobody should ever succumb to the fears of many, nor the taunts of one. The rage in me spreads beyond my being. Was shining far and was seeing. We've had enough, this much is clear. We'll read this as this all go on year after year. Our corners of the earth combined don't matter the place, don't matter the time. Stand in solitude and rest in gratitude for what we have and what we feel. Oh, and the women, oh, and the women, oh, and the women, oh, and the women start to rage. The rage in me spreads beyond my being. It's a light worth fighting for, it's a light worth seeing. The rage in me spreads beyond my being. Fighting for it's a light worse. It's a light worth seeing.
I'm here this afternoon with Leila Neverland, and she has brought such wonderful enthusiasm for performance and her own special way of making her music count to this community. It's been great. And Leila, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about how you got started, how you got this enthusiasm.
My grandma is a concert pianist, and when I was very little, she put me on her lap, and she put my hands on her hands, and she would play these pieces, and I have a very clear memory of my face coming very close to the keys and then going back up. And she insisted on music lessons until I was quite big. I grew up in the Florida Keys and a bit in Toronto. And when I was in Toronto, I did choir. I sang under the performance of the the National Ballet of Canada. They did the Nutcracker every season, so I would be underneath and I could hear all the footsteps of the ballerinas as I would sing these little oh. So the juxtaposition of theater and music came really early in my life. And my dad was super into black and white films and musicals. So I think a lot of my music making came out of the wish to tell stories and to make them colorful.
I understand you've had a great revelation on how the stories that you were intuitively telling seem to have found their moment.
Yes.
During the times of COVID.
Yes, I unexpectedly started getting messages from a few colleagues. I made a play a while ago that was essentially about a capitalist force called Miss Whip, who had enslaved all of these people into consumerism. And the main character overcomes the slavery by finding a group of underground urban gardeners. And I started getting messages out of the blue, like COVID hit, everything stopped, performance stopped. I cried a lot. And then I got messages from performers who had been a part of the show telling me, did you know this was coming? Like, how come your words and your message are almost clairvoyant or it was so bang on to what kind of they were feeling about the current state of affairs? And I started looking back into my words and my lyrics and other artists as well, and finding that there is something of, I don't know if it's clairvoyance, I don't know what we attune to as artists. My mom used to always say that artists experience a presentness that is so timeless that sometimes they experience it before everybody else is experiencing it. And then the scientists will catch on, or, like she used to talk about how Monet painted light right before Einstein did his big discoveries. So yeah, I think with the coming of the COVID, I dove deep into my poetry and my lyrics and found their significance was hitting audience members more than ever before. It's the same art, same expression, but different times, I guess.
You and I have discussed what Marshall McLuhan said, that arts can be like a dew line, a distant early warning sign, letting the culture know what's going to. Well, you seem to have plugged into that dew line somehow. And got music that's doing that. What's been the message that you feel most attached to that came out of you a while ago and you're recognizing now?
I think this concept of oneness, that beyond all of the judgments or beyond all of what is right and what is wrong, we're all here together. And we're so, not in like a fatalist way, but we're so insignificant in the scheme of our universe. I mean, we're literally so physically small. a lot of my lyrics and words speak to that. They speak to an existence that's a little bit more humble and a little bit more, I guess, removed from divisiveness, more attuned to togetherness. No matter what your beliefs are, or your political beliefs, your religious beliefs, just we're all one.
Do you think that belief that you're creating, that you're part of union, gives the energy that you've got? Because you get such energy into your performances.
Thank you. I guess so. I think when I let go of all of my own even judgments of myself, or my own perception of, oh, am I sitting, is my hair okay? When I let all of that go, I tune in to an existence, or to an energy, I guess, that's it's very deep, it's very open, and the music flows. Like, it's often the space that I enter when I'm songwriting. It'll just I'm very open, I'm feeling good, I'm not thinking about my insecurities or whatever. And I can almost hear, I kind of become like a vessel. There's things just coming through me, and I'm like, excuse me, I just have to go sit at my piano right now.
You're a channel.
Yeah, channeling big time.
In your pieces that you have online, which we hope our audience might tune into, what are some of the messages that you most hope they'll pick up? Is there anything we haven't covered? Is there something you've spoken out about that you hope the audience is hearing?
Love. Love is so important. Love of yourself, love of your family, love of your community. Love, like romantic love, is also important. I have definitely journeyed through many forms of love, and it's definitely a theme in a lot of my writing. I also think that sadness and anger are, I like to honor them equally in my writing. So I don't just sit down and write music when I'm feeling really happy. I also sit down when I'm so sad or so frustrated, and I let the sounds come. Sometimes I'm in tears at my piano, and that song, when I play it and I carve it and I make it and then I perform it for other people, they're all crying as well. So I think just I like to express the spectrum of emotion through my music.
And you certainly do. Do you have any little plans that you've got inside you waiting to burst out when we free ourselves from COVID?
I have an album that will be presented as a series of short videos, whether or not we burst out of COVID, to encourage people to still look outside and to still embrace their environment, their natural environment. So the album, if you watch it all the way through, will actually show the changing of the seasons. So
Changes of the seasons?
Yeah. So you'll wind up, you can watch a series of my music, of the album. It's like a visual album, and there'll be a recording too. But the visual part of the album will show the movement of this earth that's, again, greater than us.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
does the Okanagan impact that at all, being here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, big time. I moved here when I was about 20 for school, and there was not a lot of Googling back when I was 20. So I hadn't looked up what Kelowna looked like at all. I applied, I got in, and I took a plane with my 6 bags, and I landed. That was when you could step out onto the tarmac. You weren't there wasn't the big airport things. And I remember getting out on the tarmac and just turning around. I was looking at Ellison, which, okay, it's Ellison, but for me, as a new inhabitant of these lands, I just was like, oh my gosh, I burst into tears. I was crying on the tarmac because I was so blown away by the vitality in the forest. And as I moved and journeyed through being in the Okanagan, I got quite confronted with the existence of the Syilx people and wanted to honor that truth. So a lot of, yeah, I'd say so. A lot of my more recent works really express my experience in these woods and particularly in British Columbia, for sure.
And they express vitality. You nailed it, girl.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great to talk with you.
You too.